Hey credit warriors, welcome to the show, and in this video I want to talk about several key strategies for paying off your mortgage early. Now, if you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you have already established that you want to pay your mortgage off early. If you're not sure whether it is a good deal or whether you would be better off investing that money instead and earning a return in the stock market or whatever you invest in, watch my video entitled "Should You Pay Your Mortgage Off Early?" first and then come back. I'll put it in a pinned comment down below and also in the end card of this video. In that video, I go through the math, and to give a very basic recap, it isn't normally worth it from a mathematical perspective to pay it early unless you have a terrible interest rate, which, you know, if you got a mortgage like last week, you might do. But even if you have a good interest rate, there's also a huge financial security case to be made for paying it early. Once you own that house outright, no one can take it away from you, and it frees up a load of monthly cash flow, which will give you peace of mind, even if technically a disciplined investor could make more money by investing that money instead. But like I said, assuming that you've established that you want to pay it off early, let's look at several strategies to do just that. And these examples will be specific to mortgages here in the US where I live. The most common mortgage here is the 30-year fixed rate mortgage from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, but there may be similarities with mortgages in other countries. And as always, this is not financial advice. Consult a certified financial advisor who is a fiduciary to help you with your own unique situation. Before we start, if you are saving up for a house or you're into investing, the brokerage app Webull is currently offering 20 free fractional shares when you move $500 of your money into an account with them. These shares are worth between $3,000 and $3,000 each. Luck of the draw what you get, so the minimum value would be $60, but you do have the chance of getting a lot more than that. And obviously that $500 remains your money. You can invest with it like normal, buy stocks, whatever you want to do. Link for that deal is below, and we thank you very much if you do use our link, since supporting our sponsors supports our show. So, paying your mortgage off early. First of all, you need to know if your mortgage has a prepayment penalty or not. In the US, thanks to the Dodd-Frank Act, most regular mortgages, so we're talking Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, issued after 2014 don't have prepayment penalties. Even the ones that do normally only charge these penalties for prepayments within the first 3 years. FHA, USDA, and VA loans are not permitted to have prepayment penalties at all. If you are unsure whether your mortgage has a prepayment penalty or not, just look at your closing disclosure document, and on the first page, it will tell you if there is a prepayment penalty. Here is mine, and it shows you that there is not. Now let's look at 4 different methods of prepaying your mortgage, starting with the lump sum method. This would be for people who have suddenly come into some money. So for example, if you just got an inheritance and you're wondering what you should do with it, should you invest or should you pay off your mortgage? Or should you do a bit of both? And how much should you allocate to each? Well, if you are near the beginning of your mortgage, like I am, I have 25 years left on a 30-year mortgage, paying a lump sum will really save you a lot of money in interest. Let's open up a mortgage calculator and have a look. So if you research mortgage payoff calculator on Google, the top 2 results are pretty good. You have this one, which has a lot of features, but then there is also a second result from Dave Ramsey, and this one is really clear in its presentation. So I'm going to use the Ramsey one for most of this video. I'm going to enter my mortgage information here. The original loan was for $197,000. Okay, I know that document I showed you a moment ago showed $196,000, but I forgot that and I wrote this entire script with $197,000. So we're just going to use $197,000. It doesn't really matter. It's just an example anyway. The loan started on August 1st, 2019 with a length of 30 years and the interest rate is 4.5%. You can see here I would be paying over $160,000 in interest on this loan over 30 years. Let's now look at what a lump sum payment would do if I paid, say, $1,000 right now. So I have entered a one-off $1,000 payment on the left here, and you can see that paying $1,000 right now, only 5 years into the 30-year mortgage, saves me $2,000 in interest. So it's basically pay $1, save $2 in interest. Ramping that up to a one-off payment of $10,000 saves me almost $20,000 in interest. Now I said almost 20,000, so you can see that we're not quite at pay $1, save $2 anymore. And what happens if we pay $20,000? It saves us just under $36,000 in interest. So we are saving $1.80 for every dollar we pay. So from this, you can see that there is a diminishing rate of returns as we increase the amount. And that is because at the beginning of the mortgage, we owe the most money. So we are being charged interest on that larger sum. At the beginning of what they call the amortization schedule, you pay more in interest and less in principal. So paying all that principal in one go means you're missing 4 years, 8 months worth of payments where you pay like $700 in interest and only $300 or so in principal each month. If we do this later in the loan term, we are paying less in interest on each payment because the overall amount we owe is less. So the interest being charged isn't as much. Each payment also has a larger amount of principal, so we can't skip as many payments for every $1,000 we pay, right? If you're paying $700 in principal, $1,000 is only going to be like 1.3 payments that you could actually skip, like 1.3 months. So to show you this, let me change the date of the start of the loan to 10 years earlier, all right, 2009, meaning we're about halfway through or 15 years into the mortgage, and let's see how much savings a $20,000 lump sum gives us. $17,000 in interest saved, or 85 cents per dollar. That same lump sum would have saved us over $35,000 or $1.80 per dollar paid just 5 years into the mortgage. So my conclusion for the lump sum method is that it's going to be most worth it at the beginning of the mortgage. As you move later on, each dollar you pay doesn't save you as much. There's a diminishing rate of return. So if you get an inheritance, say 5 years into a 30-year, it really could be something to think about. If you're halfway through, you could still do it, but you won't be saving as much in interest. My personal thinking would be to invest the money instead or split it between some mortgage paydown and some investments. And I know some trolls are going to be like, this doesn't make sense. You get way better returns and more time for the money to grow and compound if you just invest it. But guys, this is heavily psychological anyway. The numbers are important, but they're not the only factor. All right, let's now look at 3 more paydown methods that don't involve you just inheriting some money, but come from your regular income. If you're going to pay down your mortgage out of your regular income, then you will need to make room in your budget for those increased payments. Don't just pay more on your mortgage and then have to put regular spending on a credit card and pay interest. For an extra $100 on your mortgage payment per month, you need to reduce your budget by $100 somewhere else, maybe eat out one less time per month. So the first method we are going to look at is bi-weekly payments. This is where you pay half of your monthly payment due every 2 weeks. There are 52 weeks in a year, so you end up making 26 half payments, which is equivalent to 13 full monthly payments. 1 extra per year. You just need to make sure that the extra money you are paying is going towards principal, so you may need to call your bank to set this up. This could be a good method for someone who gets paid every 2 weeks as opposed to getting paid at the end of each calendar month, as their bi-weekly payments will line up exactly with their income. On my loan, if I did the bi-weekly payment thing starting now, I would save $17,800 in interest and save 3 years, 3 months off the length of the loan. I had to use the other mortgage calculator for this one because the Ramsey one didn't have the bi-weekly option. You could also consider still paying monthly, but making 1 extra mortgage payment per year. In my case, this works out almost as good as the bi-weekly payment method, saving $17,400 in interest. If you work a W-2 job, so you're having taxes taken out automatically each month, you usually get a tax refund at the end of the year. So you can plan that 1 extra payment, which goes all towards principal, around April or May, basically the time you'd usually get your refund check from the IRS. This way, you won't even really notice that you are doing it, and you'd be saving thousands in interest and you'd be debt-free, in my case, 3 years, 3 months earlier. And now let's look at our final method, adding $100, $200, or even $300 to your mortgage payment each month. For me, adding $100 in principal per month saves me $21,000 in interest. But if we increase that to $200 per month, the savings are $36,000 over the life of the loan. That looks like more, but the first $100 per month saves us $21,000 as long as we do it every month. And the second $100 per month that we add only saves us an additional $15,000. What about if we add another $100 and pay $300 more in principal per month? It's a total saving of $47,000 as long as we do it for the rest of the loan. But that third $100 per month only saves us an additional $11,000 versus paying $200 per month. So it becomes less effective, okay? There's a diminishing rate of return again as we pay more per month. So like with paying larger and larger lump sums, it becomes less effective as we pay more per month. Again, a diminishing rate of return. We also see that with how many years it shortens the term of the loan by. The first $100 per month, if you do it for the whole remaining time of the mortgage, in my case 25 years, it shortens it by 3 years 11 months. Then if we add another $100, so a total of $200 per month, that extra $100 only shortens it by 2 years 9 months for a total of 6 years 8 months. And another $100, so a total of $300 per month in additional principal payments, that third $100 only shortens it by 2 years 2 months for a total of 8 years and 10 months. So you can see that the savings in interest and the amount of time to get debt-free is less efficient the more you add per month. Also, if we compare it to the lump sum method, it is way less efficient. So there you have it, guys. 4 different ways of paying your mortgage early. We have lump sum, bi-weekly, 1 extra payment per year, and then adding a little extra principal per month. The lump sum method is by far the best if you can do it, since it allows you to jump way ahead on the amortization schedule. But as you can see, you will still save thousands in interest if you use the other methods too. And of course, the higher your interest rate, the more you save. Just for fun, let me show you what a one-off payment of $10,000 would save me in interest if my mortgage interest rate was more similar to today's mortgages, okay? So we're plugging in a 7% interest rate for this one, and that $10,000 payment saves me over $41,000 or $4 for every $1 spent. And when you get into interest rates like that, it does really start competing with the potential returns from investing, since the interest savings are 100% guaranteed, whereas an 8% return in the stock market, which is normally what everyone says, all right, 8% after adjusting for inflation, it's likely, but it's not totally certain, and it could also be ruined by a bad year or two just when you decide you need the money. But this video is really just focusing on the different pay down methods and not the question of should you pay down or should you invest. Why not search for those mortgage payment calculators on Google and try plugging in the numbers yourself with your loan and see what savings you can get on your own mortgage. Leave me a comment and let you know which early payment method you use or are planning on using and how much you're saving. And if you wonder what I'm doing, I'm actually doing the most inefficient method. I'm paying down an extra $100 in principal per month, which is going to save me $21,000 on the remaining loan term I have left. The rest of my surplus cash I use to invest, and I get a higher return from investing in the stock market and rental properties and stuff. But my mortgage interest rate is only 4.5%. So everyone's situation is different. And if you just got a mortgage like this year at 7% or so, the early payment thing may be a lot more enticing. If you haven't decided whether paying off your mortgage early is right for you, do check out my first video, Should You Pay Your Mortgage Early? It's on screen now. Also, don't forget to get 20 free fractional shares from the commission-free brokerage app Webull. It is a great alternative to apps like Robinhood with way better charts and tools. Link for that is below. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.